have time to hear more than 2 hours of bullshit about us.
Oh, you don't have 2 hours, do you? You don't have 2 hours to listen to Putin's BS, as you call it. Well, incidentally, I don't have a second to listen to your BS. Because while you go around doing big speeches in the world, acting like a savior, like a hero, accepting awards from Hollywood stars and invites to the most exciting and poshest places around the world, while your wife does her shopping in Paris and Zurich, and so on and so forth, your people are suffering and dying needlessly. They're crying out for peace. They're crying out for compromise. They don't want to go to war, but you're dragging them by their feet. Elderly men in their 50s, men with diabetes and heart disease, men who are simply fathers and grandfathers who want to stay at home. They don't want to come back in a body bag, and they certainly don't want to kill other people on the other side of an artificial border where they're essentially the same and even speak the same language. They're even family. But you keep forcing them to go out there to be used as cannon fodder while you sit there in a studio embellishing yourself, embellishing everything that you think you're doing. There is no greater threat than Ukraine to world security because you're the president of Ukraine. There is no greater threat in this world as we speak right now than the parliament of Ukraine, which is filled with racists and fascists and even Nazis. Wasn't it Ukrainians that reminded us that their blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids should not be suffering in this way and should not be at war? In other words, they are just too white to be suffering in this way. Isn't it Ukraine that has devastated its Russian-speaking population in the east and tormented them since 2014? You know, just because Russia's bigger doesn't make it okay to hate Russia. Just because Russians are Russian doesn't make it okay for people to despise them. Your people are crying out for peace. Remember the old lady, the elderly mother who lost her only son to this useless, senseless war because you sent him out to the front line for no reason other than to serve and feed your own ego. When the mother approached you to try and speak to you about it, you simply shrugged your shoulders and turned away while your bodyguards with their heavy guns pushed her. That's the reality, you see. That's who you really are. You couldn't care less about your people. You don't care about Ukrainians. You only care about yourself. You're self-absorbed. You're a fascist. You're weak and you're pathetic. And you're not a leader. You're an actor and a dancer. And you made a TV series in Ukraine about being a leader. And then suddenly somehow you think you can do it in real life. If you were a true leader, if you loved your people, you would have made peace by now. You would have compromised by now. You would have met with Putin and not only listened to him for 2 hours, you would have listened to him for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever it takes to save lives and to make peace. But you couldn't care less. You are a psychopath and the world has woken up. And I'm glad. I'm glad, but I feel sorry for your people who still have to live under your rule and your threats and intimidation.
I'm learning now that I am the first American journalist in Avdiivka. And what you're seeing behind me, this complete destruction, is a product of Western aggression. I have to watch where I step because there are petal mines everywhere. This is a civilian area, as you can see. These are civilian houses behind me, completely destroyed, completely mined, completely bombarded. Since we've been here in just a few hours, there's been gunfire raging all around us. There's been incoming mortars exploding all around us. There have been UAV drones. There have been kamikaze drones. I'm out here risking my life to show you in the West that everything we're being told by the United States government is a blatant lie. It is time we step off of our couches, out of complacency, and we speak out against the destruction that our government is causing here on the border and in the Russian Federation.